I wrote 5 melodies of increasing complexity from J-pop to jazz solo. Each composition has a similar chord progression. First, I'll play the melody on the piano, then I'll explain. Finally, I'll play the full track. Level 1, J-pop melody. This level encapsulates your favorite anime intro songs. Rhythmically, this melody is mostly built from notes of the same length, quarter note values. To keep it from feeling too plain, however, I add a little bit of syncopation. Syncopation is just shifting the rhythm so that it doesn't line up with the main pulse of a song. It's one of the easiest ways to make a melody feel energetic without adding a lot of complexity. Harmonically, the melody mostly outlines the underlying chords. The further we move away from the root of a chord, the more colorful, but more tension we have with each note. The notes here are lower on that totem pole and create a sense of stability, which helps to make that catchy, singable quality that pop music has. From level 1, we can increase our musical complexity gradually. Level 2 is film score music. I had Joe Hisashi, the imaginative composer behind the Studio Ghibli films, in mind when writing this song. Even though the piece is much slower, it's actually more complex. The rhythm uses a wider variety of note lengths and has a couple moments in which we shift from duplet to triplet subdivision. Duplet meaning divided by 2, and triplet meaning divided by 3. In simple terms, the pulse of the melody becomes less predictable. The harmony becomes more colorful as well. Instead of landing on the most stable tones of a chord, the melody starts exploring those higher tension-filled notes like the 7th, the 9th, and the 11th. One thing that you'll notice about the melody is that it often goes out of its way to not state whether the chord is minor or major by avoiding that crucial tone, the 3rd. Film composers use this trick because ambiguity can create a sense of emotion, mystery, and atmosphere. By upping our harmonic complexity and our rhythmic variance, we get to our next level, level 3, straight ahead jazz. Straight-ahead jazz represents the bebop and hard bop styles from the 1940s and 1950s. The biggest rhythmic change here from the previous levels is swing. Instead of dividing the beat evenly, swing divides the beat in a lopsided way to give a sense of forward momentum and groove. You can see here that although the melody is played twice, there are rhythmic differences shown in the notation, and there are harmonic differences shown in the chord symbols. Harmonically, we're using the same tension-filled notes as the previous genre, but we're adding the 6th and the 13th scale degree. The form becomes more complex here as well. The previous examples simply repeated the melody twice and then ended immediately. Here, though, instead of doing that exact formula, I interject new material at the end to create a unique and memorable ending experience. If the straight-ahead genre represents jazz from the 1940s and 1950s, what does the modern representation of jazz sound like? Level 4 is modern jazz. So modern jazz takes on many different forms, but oftentimes it creates a unique sound by blending jazz elements with the elements of another genre. For this example, I combined jazz harmony with a hip-hop group, creating modern jazz in the style of musicians like Robert Glasper. Rhythmically, this melody has the highest degree of both duplet and triplet subdivisions. I also include small decorative notes called grace notes here. These are tiny notes that add a little movement and a little character to a melody. Another important difference here is repetition. Most of the previous melodies rely on repetition a lot to create singable and memorable melodic phrases. This melody, however, is much more through-composed, meaning it continually adds new material rather than returning to familiar ones. The harmony becomes more colorful too. The sharp 11 in particular is a very dissonant interval, and it's used here quite a lot. Additionally, the chords utilize more extension, and I throw in a pedal point here. A pedal point just means that the bass note or the lowest note is repeated the same, while colors shift in quality on top of it. All of these elements combine to create a highly complex melody with shifting subdivisions, colorful note choices, and low repetition. This last level, however, takes all of those elements and pushes it to the max. Here's the final level of melody, level 5, the jazz solo. The first thing you'll notice is just the sheer density of notes, but the real increase in the complexity comes from the harmony. A skilled jazz improviser isn't limited to just outlining the chord progression that they're playing over. This line, for example, implies D7, G7, C minor, all over this repeating chord progression. This rhythmic and harmonic approach allows the soloist to create a crazy amount of intensity. However, this does come at a cost of relatability and singability. It's certainly really difficult to remember and to sing this melody. And that's the interesting thing about melodic complexity. Complexity isn't the same thing as quality. The goal of this video wasn't to rank melodies or genres from worst to best. In fact, it's my hope that every listener has a different favorite song from this video. Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button and give me a like. Make sure to hit the notification bell so you're notified when I post videos in the future. And tell me in the comments, which song and which melody was your favorite? Thanks for watching, and I can't wait to see you in the next video.